Okay, I have a confession to make. For the last couple of years, I've been driving around on tires that objectively should not have been on the road. I knew they were bad. I'd look at them sometimes and think, those look rough, and then I'd get in and drive away. Here's the thing though, I drive cars for a living. Press cars, review cars, a new car every couple of weeks. So my own car, my 2014 Mercedes CLA45 AMG, tends to just sit. So when Bridgestone said, hey, we'd love to send you a set of Potenza Sports, I said yes immediately. And then I did something I probably should have done a long time ago. I took my car to an actual shop and let the people who do this for a living walk me through every single step of what goes into putting 4 tires on a car and making them actually work. That means mounting, balancing, alignment, all the good stuff. I thought that I knew what those words meant. It turns out I knew maybe 10% of what those words meant. So if you're like me and you've been ignoring your tires, or you've been meaning to get an alignment for a year and a half, or you just want to know what's actually happening when your car is up on a lift, this video is for you. So let's find out what I didn't know. We are here at 239 Mechanics. They have already taken my beautiful old car back, so let's go inside and meet the team.
Well, welcome to the back shop area of 239 Mechanics, where all the magic happens. And we have Amanda's beautiful vehicle over here, and the guys are going to be helping her mount and balance her new tires, which she is in dire need of apparently. Guys, I'd like to introduce you to Sean. He's our shop foreman here at 239 Mechanics. He's one of our lead techs here. He's going to be taking care of Amanda's vehicle. We're going to be taking care of her tires, but doing an overall inspection, making sure that everything else is looking solid as well.
So when you bring your car into a shop to have it checked,
Yeah.
and you tell them you're experiencing either a drivability issue, you're feeling something, you're hearing a noise, you got something in the steering wheel shaking a little bit, we're going to come out, we're going to check your tires. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to use a digital tread depth gauge, and we're going to measure and see exactly how that tire is wearing. And then we'll take 3 different measurements, one in the middle, one on the outside, and one on the inside. And that tells us how the tire is wearing.
Oh, okay.
So if we're seeing uneven wear, then we can start a diagnostic process, figure out what's causing that. A few other issues that a lot of people don't realize is all of your tires have a DOT date code stamped on them.
Yeah.
So this tire was manufactured in 2021. We don't like to see people on the road with tires that are more than 7 years old.
Yes.
It becomes a safety hazard after that. So your tire might look great, it might go down the road great, but after it gets too old, the tires become compromised.
And that's not even it on the car. That's just how long they have been alive.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Main thing that we check when we're looking for tires, we want to find even wear on the treads. That's from the outside to the inside and even on the center. As your tire goes down the road's not completely flat, tires aren't completely square. So we do alignments and we tilt the tires to make sure that the contact patch is in the center of the tire so you get the most life you can out of it. When you get tires that are underinflated or you get an alignment that's wrong, you'll start getting wear uneven on one edge versus the other. And it actually can cause your car to pull or drift from side to side. These tires, it's hard to see on camera, but they're what I call chopped up. As you run your hand down it, you can feel your hand grabbing as if you were going over like a saw blade. That should be really, really smooth. This is an indication of there's an alignment issue. Could be something in the suspension, could just be parts have gotten worn out, bushings have worn, and we need to bring it back into the alignment. Same issue, alignment, but the damage is a little easier to see. You can see here where it's actually taken chunks of the tire. And again, this is just from an alignment where the tire's going down the road. The steering wheel's straight, but the tire's not exactly straight. So the tire's kind of pushing on one side versus the other. It used to be a trick that old timers would say, if you took a penny and you stuck it in the tread depth gauge, if the tread doesn't touch the top of Abraham Lincoln's head, it's time to change your tires out. Most cars now have what we call wear bar indicators on them.
Oh.
There's one right here.
Oh, okay.
So there's a raised bar in the lowest point of your tread. When that raised bar becomes flush with the rest of your tread, the tire's gotten the most life out of it you can, and it's time to be replaced.
So the tread isn't terrible on these, it's just that this part is terrible?
It's the uneven wear that's making it unsafe.
Got it.
Yep. And you continue to drive this tire like this, and eventually what you'll see is you'll have cords and you'll have metal start showing. There's also a sticker on the B pillar of every single car. And it's got a tire label. And it'll tell you on this label right here what the recommended tire pressure for the front tires are and what they are for the rear tires. And then it'll give you a little bit of a variance depending on how the car is weighted. Not so much on passenger cars. On a lot of your heavy duty trucks, they'll have different PSIs for different weight ratings. So you may have 70 PSI in the front and 105 in the rear. If you're not carrying a heavy load, you might have 70 on front and 70 on rear. But it's always best to check the sticker on the B pillar.
So tell me all of your knowledge about rotating tires. Should I be like rotating these bad boys just on a Saturday morning?
Generally, you're gonna do a tire rotation every other oil change. And that's a general guideline. There's difference for different cars. Nowadays, we're seeing cars that have staggered tires on them, and you can't rotate them. The front will have a 18-inch tire on it, and the back will be a 19.
Yeah.
You go to a shop that doesn't know any better, and they rotate your tires, and you're going to be back real soon because you're going to have interference issues. Your tires are going to be rubbing into the fender liner. It's going to hit the strut tower when you turn.
Yes.
But generally, a tire rotation every other oil change.
Okay.
And that's honestly the best way to get the most life you can out of your tires.
Well,
Keep them inflated, do the tire rotation, make sure your alignment's good. And if you go in and you ask for a tire rotation, usually you'll get a free brake inspection as well.
If you do have staggered tires, like, are you trying to swap the two front and the two back?
So again, that's a loaded question also. Some tires are directional tires. Directional tires can only spin in one way.
Got it.
So if you wanted to do a tire rotation, but you had staggered tires, the rear tires have to stay on the rear.
Okay.
And the only way to move them is to swap them from side to side.
Got
When
it.
you do that, you change the direction. So if it's a directional tire, you can't do that. A staggered car with directional tires, there is no rotation you can do at all.
There's so many stipulations.
There is. That's why it's important you go to a pro.
Does it say that on the tire if they're
So
directional?
the tire will have an arrow on it, and it'll say
okay.
rotation. These are not directional tires, so I can't show it to you.
All willy-nilly.
I can show you the lack of it. See, no arrow.
No arrow. This is where the arrow
This is what we
be.
don't see, but you would have an arrow.
Okay.
Hopefully, if it was installed in your car correctly, the arrow's pointed towards the front of the car. For anybody at home looking, if it's pointed backwards, that's not a reverse tire. That's a wrong mounted tire.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
All right, cool. See, good knowledge. Thank you. Here's our Bridgestone Potenza Sports. Shout out to Bridgestone for sending us these bad boys. Now we are going to put these on my car to replace those embarrassing tires.
Another big thing that people first starting out find out the hard way, when you're collapsing these tires, it's pushing the tire in. A lot of your new cars have the tire pressure monitoring sensors in them, and when they push the tire in, the tire grabs the sensor and it rips the sensor out. So you get complaints, people getting their tires changed, and then afterwards their TPMS lights on the dash. Usually there's a broken sensor bouncing around in the tire. Out with the old, in with the new. Here you can see the code of the tire, but there's no date. The date is only printed on one side of the tire. You always want to mount your tire with the date code facing out. Here we go. There's our date code. So these numbers are the same on both sides, but it doesn't have the date.
Oh, interesting.
So you want to make sure this side faces out.
So that's the 35th week of 2025.
Correct. More slime, the better. Now that tire is mounted, but it's not seated yet. I can still put my hand down in here. So now what we got to do is seat the bead. And we took the valve stem out, which is going to allow me to put 120 PSI straight into this tire. It's basically a shotgun blast of air to blow the tire out. And now we move on to balance. Give it a few taps, make sure she's centered. We're going to remove any weights that are on the wheel. Now we're going to spin it and see what the machine says she needs for weight. Your cheaper tires that you've probably never heard of before, they take a lot of weight. And it affects your ride as well. Now these particular tires didn't have the colored dots on them, but I can show you another tire here. Some of these manufacturers will put dots on the tire. And these dots are the heaviest spot on the tire. So when you go to mount the tire, you want to match this dot up as close to this valve stem as possible, and that should give you the best balance where you'll have to use the least amount of weight possible. All right, and that's a good balanced tire. A tip I give anybody at home, hand start all of your lug nuts first. Nothing's worse than changing your tire on the side of the road, finding out that the last person cross-threaded it and you can't get it off without a torch. Installing it in the star pattern is not as important as torquing it in the star pattern.
Got the digital wrench.
Tire pressure changes with temperature. So you can inflate your tires to 35 PSI. You drive down the road 4 or 5 miles, and if you have a digital display that shows you your tire pressures while you're going down the road, you'll actually see them go up to 37, 38, 39 PSI. Same thing on really, really cold days when you first get in the car, you'll get readings at like 31, 32, just below where it was at. So it's not abnormal to see your temperatures go up and down with the temperature. So yeah, it's better to put the air in the tires when it is cold outside, because that's going to be your lowest reading. The pressure is going to go up as the temperature rises. You won't get a light coming on for your pressure going up 3-4 PSI, but you will get a light come on for it dropping 3 or 4 PSI.
All right, guys, we just finished up installing my new tires on my car, and the guys at 239 Mechanics were so helpful. They taught me a lot of stuff, and hopefully you learned a little bit too, but look at how much better these look already. Said I'm gonna be more responsible with these bad boys, but they definitely look a lot better. They're gonna grip a lot better. You know, we're gonna take it for a drive now and see how it goes, but I have a feeling these are going to be a much improved ride over my last very chunky old tires. Now we are taking our new tires for a drive. And I have to say, my old tires, obviously they were in terrible condition. They didn't exactly have a great ride, and they just kind of felt like they were dying, probably because they were dying. So let's see how these bad boys feel. We're obviously gonna have these on for a while, so we'll see how they do throughout the rest of winter and summer, because it's gonna be rainy. But they feel great. I feel like better prepared to drive on a long journey here, or any journey, I guess. Definitely feel smoother, and they definitely feel quieter, like just even that short distance. There's probably like cops out the yin-yang over here. Definitely smoother, definitely quieter. They just feel much improved. Like Lupita is new. She's a newborn baby. And that leads us to our next point, is we'll be back for an alignment. Because I didn't get an alignment.
Yeah, part 2.
But we'll be back for part 2, so stay tuned. So we will be back for an alignment because that is very important. They were saying that the reason that my tires looked like that was because it was either poorly aligned or not aligned at all, which I honestly don't know if I got an alignment last time. I'm an irresponsible car owner. So we're gonna go back and we will learn more about why it's important to have an alignment and what goes into an alignment and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned for part 2 and life with my new Bridgestones. Please, no paparazzi.
Are we done?
We're done.
Okay.
Goodbye. We finna align my car to be aligned.
Okay.
We're getting in alignment. Align me, Captain.
Show us the goods.
They're Amanda's Monster Cookie. There are 4 different kinds of chocolate chip, rainbow sprinkles, and Biscoff cookies.
Good.
Good to see y'all. Hey.
We did that. Stop. Back up a little bit. Right there. All right. Do me a favor. Scan the VIN tag inside the door there. I'm out of breath. Yes. So, essentially, what we are aligning is the front tires to the back tires. I did that backwards. The back tires to the front tires. Everything needs to be in a perfect square. You can have the camber messed up on the rear, and it'll cause a car to pull one way versus the other. You can have toe messed up on the rear. It's going to cause wear problems. A lot of people only adjust the toe on the front of the car. And doing that and skipping the back, you can actually have the front as straight as possible, but the car is going to like crab walk going down the road because the back tires are pointed out at an angle slightly. And you try to compensate that by adjusting toe on the front, and you end up just destroying your front tires. They're going to wear because now your front tires are turned and you're pushing instead of rolling. But there's three main measurements that we're checking. It's camber, caster, and toe. Caster is basically the suspension, the center line of the tire, whether it's leaning forward or it's leaning backwards. Toe is how your tire sits in the middle of the car, whether it's pointed to the left, pointed to the right. And then camber is your tire either leaning in or leaning out. You see a lot of these people with import cars that are lowered and the cars, it looks like half the tires touching the road. That's called cammed out or cammed in. They might think it looks cool, but they're destroying their car by doing that stuff. So on the right rear, this is towed in just a hair where it needs to be, but we'll get that more towards the center. Sure. And then on the front of the car, we've got camber that's out, and our toe is out also. Usually when we bring the toe back in, we'll get the camber to come back in with it. But if you remember, the wear that she had on her tires were on the inside, and I said it was because it was towed in and the inside of the tire was touching. And we can see here how and this is an exaggerated picture. If you look at the car, obviously it doesn't look the same, but that shows us that in fact it was towed in. Back in the day, we used to use strings, and what you would do was you would mount the string to the rear tire in the center of the wheel, and then you would pull that string all the way to the front tire, and that would give you a distance from center to wheel. You would compare that with the other side, and then you would cross them. Crossing them is where you got your measurement at. So the distance between the left rear and the front right should be the same as the left right and front, front left. However I said that, opposite sides. And then when you go to like the front to do the toe, you would put a string at the front of your tire, the front tire edge from one tire to the next, and you would measure it. And then you would check in the back. And if there was a difference, so if the front string was longer, that let you know your tires are pointed like this. All right, leave that, and then we'll torque those down. Let's move up to the front now. You saw before on your picture where your tires were, now we're nice and straight. Amazing. And the other thing that we check is the thrust angle. So the thrust angle is how your car goes down the road. And when your back tires are turned and the front tires ain't, that's when your thrust angle is going to be way off. So it's going to push your car to the left or push your car to the right. We are in the center of this plateau, so we are pushing straight forward. So on this one, our toe is currently good, but the camber is out. So the camber is the way the tires lean in or out. And on Mercedes, they put that adjustment on the strut. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen these bolts up, and that's going to allow the tire to either flop in or flop out.
we can get it lined back up where it needs to be.
All right, guys, we just finished our alignment at 239 Mechanics, and they took very good care of us. Apparently, my car was not aligned very well, which does not surprise me at all because I cannot figure out when the last time I got an alignment was. But after they installed our cool Bridgestone Potenzas, they aligned it and it's in great shape. They did an awesome job with it, and everyone here is so friendly. So thank you to 239 Mechanics. My car is ready for a lot of road trips. It looks great, right? Now, I mean, I might need to wash it, so don't judge it on being dirty, but now it's aligned. It's got great tires. So thank you to Bridgestone and 239 Mechanics for getting my 2014 CLA45 AMG ready to go. Hey guys, wanted to give you a 1,000-mile update on our Bridgestone Potenza tires. We have put about 1,000 miles on these, and we've gone to Sebring, we've gone to Miami and done a couple road trips, and overall I'm just super happy with the tires. We've driven in the rain and they've performed really well. I just wanted to give a shout out to 239 Mechanics for installing them and giving us an alignment. I hope you guys learned a little something at the start of this video, and again, shout out to Bridgestone. I really appreciate you guys sending me these tires. While you're here, please like and subscribe the video, and feel free to follow us on Instagram so you can see what kind of shenanigans we get into next. Thanks for watching.